Hey there everybody, it's DiLisio, and today I'm going to be doing one of a series of videos where I'm covering all of the characters in Merchant's Cove. This includes the base game characters and the 3 expansion characters as well. I'm also going to talk a bit about the Secret Stash expansion. What I'm planning to do is give you a brief overview of how these characters play. Then afterwards I'll talk to you about what their level of complexity is ranked among all of the characters within the game, the main mechanisms that run those characters, and all of this is going to culminate in a video where I'm going to rank all of the Merchant's Cove characters in the order of my preference. So, without further ado, let's take a look at today's character. Alright, let's take a look at the captain. Here we see the components for the captain character. We've got our main player board here. We've got 4 random face-down large goods that are in these outer kind of cutout spots here. We've got our 4 ships there in Serpent's Bay. We've got our character, our captain, right up there. And I just want to point out that this is a painted character. I had mine painted by Wendy Yee, Chris Yee's wife. She did a great job. Wanted to show that off, but if you get the game, it's going to come unpainted. All right, so I just wanted to point that out. That's going to start, as pretty much always, in the Activate staff area. And then we've got our staff board here, and we've got a spinner. That's something new and exciting. Our small goods here, which are different fish. Our sales shelf there, and cursed coins. All right, our 7 cursed coins there, which I'll talk about in a moment. All right. As always, you've got the standard 2 actions of recruit new townsfolk and activate your staff board. But we're going to be focusing on the actions that are specific to the captain. So let's talk about that right now. First thing I'm going to talk about is just going right here. This is basically spending 1 hour to gain 1 movement point. Movement points are how you move these ships around the board, and for each movement point you can cross one of these dotted lines. So for example, if I spent 1 movement point, I can move this ship right here if I wanted to. I could have also moved it right there. All right. Another thing that you can do that helps you move your ships is to go right here. Now that's going to cost you 2 time, all right, but that's going to give you the spinning and moving ships action. So let's talk about this. So here's your spinner here. You would spin it and do what it says. In this case, I definitely on that side of the line. So this is saying place 2 cursed coins onto Pirate's Island, right there. And then you have up to 3 movement points that you can spend all on one ship or split them up as you like. Here, well, I'll say that for last. Here, up to 4 movement points, but you spend 3 coins. Same thing here as here. This one, you get up to 2 movement points. You put in 1 cursed coin, or if you can't, if you run out of those, you draw a corruption. And then you could spin again and potentially continue to trigger that. It's not going to add to the time. It's not going to add to the amount of time cost, but it is going to potentially get you more cursed coins and or corruption, depending on how that works out. So let's say I'd spun that, taken that action. Now I've put the 2 coins, the cursed coins there onto Pirate's Island, and I have up to 3 movement points. All right, so let's say I did this. I go 1, and I want to really get up there. You see this little symbol there? That says you can spend a cursed coin and a movement, so that's 2. And then for my 3rd movement, I'll go here, for example. All right, so now I've got ships in different parts of the board. Another thing that you can do, if you choose to, is fish, which is right here. It's going to cost you 2 time. Now this is how you get your small goods, which, as I said before, is seafood. All right, it allows you to fish for seafood in bulk and potentially turn cursed coins into gold. You can fish in any with any region with a ship that has a hook. So these 2 have hooks, as you can see there, a hook there and a hook there. Also, there's hooks around the outside here. This is a way for you to get rid of cursed coins and get that amount of gold. So if I had a ship there, I could remove here 3 of those coins and get that much in gold. Here I'm getting small goods, so I get a small fish, red fish, and I get a small green fish, and these ships move back into the bay. All right? So that's fishing. That's a way for you to get small goods and then potentially get rid of some of these cursed coins and turn those into gold as well. All right. You can also do an import action, which is right here. This also costs you 2 time. This is going to be how you get your big goods. Now, what I should have done, as soon as this ship came into this area, whenever you have a ship that's in a region with one of these face down, you immediately flip it face up. So I would have known at that point that this is a large red good, all right? That's not something you have to wait to do. You do that as soon as you have a ship in the same region as one of those large chests, okay? So for each ship that you want to import with, if the ship's in a region with a chest, move that treasure chest to your sail shelf and then move the ship back to the base. So here we go. I have a large red good now, and then this ship comes back. All right, this would immediately get refilled. Now, if I had another ship there, I would flip that over right away, but I couldn't then import that as well. All right, so that's how you import. During the market phase, every ship that's in one of these outer areas, so if you haven't imported and the ship was still there, it's considered to be on patrol, and for each ship on patrol in a region with one of these icons, you're going to get that matching sponsorship. For each ship that's on patrol in Pirate Island, you can choose and discard a corruption card. That is notated right there. Okay, so that's how you get your sponsorships for market, and that's also how you get rid of your corruption cards throughout the game. In the cleanup phase, you remove all the treasure maps from the map, shuffle them all except for those on your sail shelf into a face-down stack, and then you redo it. Okay, so it's a way to kind of keep those churning out. You don't get stuck with the same ones the whole time, all right, unless you've got a ship there. Right, let's talk a little bit about our staff board. As always, the rightmost action is just to get rid of a corruption card. That's the same for every character, but let's talk about the staff actions that are specific to the captain. Here, this one is you have up to 2 movement points. This is called the navigator, but you have to put a cursed coin onto Pirate Island. This is an angler. Obviously, you can just fish with one ship. This is the scavenger. You can remove 1 cursed coin from Pirate Island and then get a gold for it. All right, so those are pretty straightforward, and that's generally speaking how the captain is going to play. Let's head back and I'll let you know what I think about it. Okay, well there's the captain. It gives you an idea on how that character plays. The captain is a character that I'm giving a complexity rating of 2. Just as a reminder, if you have not watched any of the other videos in this series, I'm ranking all of the characters from low complexity at 1 to high complexity at 5, and this is only in relation to other characters within Merchant's Cove. This is not saying that the game itself is necessarily heavy. It's a relatively light game, but within the scope of characters in Merchant's Cove, the captain is one of the lighter characters. Not the lightest, in my opinion, but just above that with a ranking of 2, or a complexity of 2. It uses primarily what I'm going to be calling a spin and move mechanic. That really is, to me, kind of the heart of how this character works. You want to manage your movement in such a way that you are efficiently moving your ships about the board so that you can gain the goods that you need to be able to sell to the customers at the docks. I will say that there is a relatively high level of luck. Now, there's luck throughout the game. Anytime you are pulling characters randomly out of a bag, there's going to be luck. But this character, I feels even more lucky. There are some people that's very much going to appeal to. It almost has a push your luck feel, but it's not really push your luck. You're hoping that the goods you need are going to show up when you're going to those outer spaces, the large goods. You don't necessarily always know. You do have ways to kind of mitigate that, and they do also cycle out during the cleanup phase, so you're able to adjust that a little bit. But it is a character that does feel like it has a little bit of luck factor, but that's thematic to an extent, because you're literally fishing in the game and you don't necessarily always know what you're going to get when you go fishing. So the captain is a character that I think is a perfectly fine character to introduce new players to the game with. It would not be a character I think is terribly intimidating. I think the spinner is going to be a component that is going to be, for some people, they're going to want to avoid that because they don't like the idea of a spinner. Maybe it reminds them of old mass market games. I actually kind of like the spinner, and I think there are other people that are going to be attracted, maybe nostalgic for that spinner, and so they may be more attracted to this character. I would not feel like there's any concern with making this someone's first entry into the game. This is one of the characters I think many people would have less issue with than some of the others. So a good choice for someone that is new to the game, or somebody that maybe feels a little intimidated by asymmetric games, and Merchant's Cove very much is an asymmetric game. So the captain would be a good choice for that, or anybody who might be find the theme appealing of that particular character of moving your ships about the board. So it's a nice choice for a new player to Merchant's Cove. All right, well, that's it for the captain. Keep watching these videos if you want to see my thoughts on all of the characters within Merchant's Cove, and then I'm going to have a culminating video where I rank my preference for all of the Merchant Cove characters. That's it for me. This is Mike DiLisio signing off from Dice Tower headquarters.